Welcome back to Beards and Brews. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and smash that bell so you know when we have another one brewing. Gentlemen, today we're going to celebrate what it takes to have a great spring break. Just two pieces in that recipe, nudity and James Franco. Fellas, what'd you think?
This movie's fucking ridiculous.
I thought you were going straight up and just throw it against the wall. I'm like, this movie's awful.
No, it's not awful. It's not amazing either. It's just like ridiculous. This is a Harmony Korine picture written and directed, I believe. And he is the mastermind behind such films as Kids and Gummo. So if the viewers out there know anything about either one of those films, you kind of see the direction that we're going with. Except this has child Disney stars in it, or former child Disney stars: Vanessa Hudgens, Selena Gomez, Ashley Benson. So a real weird recipe.
No, I'm on the same page. They're still children because Selena Gomez still has the face of a 12-year-old.
James Franco actually says that. He's like, "Hey, girl, you look like you're 15. You sexy, but you look like you're 15."
This coming from James Franco, who is like trying to pass off as riffraff, and he's like 40 plus.
Straight up trying to just copy the image of Riff Raff, and I actually looked it up for those interested. Harmony Korine approached Riff Raff about starring in this film in this role, and I guess one thing led to another. That didn't happen, and Riff Raff sued Harmony Korine after he saw it because it was like, hey, that's me.
Can't just be using my face, body, personality, and not be me.
They got that other rapper guy though with the ice cream on his face to be the bad guy.
Oh,
I know who he actually is. In the real movie, that's Gucci Mane.
all I'm trying to say is that I don't know if he actually is a dirtbag or he's just a fantastic actor. But James Franco in this movie is a dirtbag.
Yeah, but he looks like he'd be a whole lot of fun to hang out with, though, don't he?
Man, like, I am not okay with hanging out with Florida Man.
Well, this is on the set of Girls Gone Wild, the first movie, so you gotta have Florida Man.
It was just so weird to see, like, this grown man doing, like, a really insane Post Malone impression the entire time.
We actually don't get to James Franco until probably about halfway through. This isn't a long movie. It's about 90 minutes.
No.
But the first half of it is basically the girls. This movie focuses on 4 girls: Candy, Faith, Brittany, and I don't know. It doesn't matter their names. It's Vanessa Hudgens, Selena Gomez, Ashley Benson, and Harmony Korine's wife, who can still pull off looking like a 19-year-old, I guess.
Sure. And the movie takes no time to waste all the time because, like, the first 30, 40 minutes of this movie, nothing happens.
Yeah, I mean, nothing in a good way, though. It's just tits and good music and gratuitous drug use.
You even got the Black Keys creeping in there. I was like, whoa, that reminds me, Brothers is a great album.
Yeah, but it opens up with Skrillex dropping the beat at, is that what gets dropped? The beat? Dropping the bass. Yeah, dropping the bass, man. With some scary monsters and nice sprites, just getting that out of the way straight up with just a bouquet of titties all over the place. It's a party. There's titties. There's cocaine. It's a beach. It's a party. But this is just the opening credits. We haven't even met the characters yet.
Can we focus on that just for a moment? Because the nudity in this movie is just fucking hilarious. Because, like, I can just see someone in the editing booth be like, no. We've got a whole 4 seconds without titties. Need more titties. Like, they have to go out and reshoot more footage because he's just unsatisfied with it.
Dude, there's a comical amount of nudity.
What happened though is they filmed the movie and like, holy shit, after editing all we have is 35 minutes. What do you fill the rest of this movie with?
You were
Titties
not
and drugs
wrong.
sound good, right? Titties and drug it is.
But these girls go to college. They're in college doing college stuff, taking classes, and it's really weird. We got 3 different girls that are sort of like, friends on their own, really into the party scene, having fun or whatever. And then Selena Gomez's character, the first time we meet her, she's in like Bible study or something with Jeff Jarrett.
But
yeah.
Yes.
Just briefly, can we just talk about how his name is Xavier, spelled with an X and a Z?
Didn't notice that at all.
It's on his back, fucking bedazzled in his fucking cowboy shirt.
It's just Xavier. You just make this
Oh,
longer.
ew.
Why is he in this movie? It's just a little bit more than a cameo appearance, but he does play the like Bible study teacher or whatever he is at the beginning, talking about Almighty Jesus and let's
Yeah.
go in, get a good amen and all that stuff, and then he's just gone.
I thought he was gonna like be like, all right, huddle up, y'all. I want you to take a knee, praise Jesus, then get out there and score me 5 all points. Let's go.
Everybody, put your hands in. Give me a JEFF JARRE. I forgot how to spell Jeff Jarrett, but give me one of them on three. 1, 2, 3.
It just goes on for way too long, regardless. But the way this movie kind of gets unraveled is that these college students are just like in the midst of, well, college. It sucks. It's school, right? And they're just all violently unhappy with their situation for whatever reason, which strikes me as super odd.
I don't know. Selena Gomez seems like she's probably not too happy, but the other three, like, they're super stressed out from, all the weed smoking that they've been doing.
Yeah, it's just so weird. Like, this movie turns quickly into like Thelma and Louise and Louise. It doesn't make any sense. Like, the escalation is just there for no reason.
Did you like how the one girl was wearing her ponytail as bangs?
Clever girl.
No, but I did like how when they're at one of the parties at the very beginning, when we actually hear that Black Keys song, we see a guy smoking weed out of a baby doll, like he's hitting it from the crotch. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah, that's one of the first party scenes in the movie, and it just tickles me because, like, it's a place where they just do like harsh substances and just like do all kinds of silly stuff. But like, as soon as you get like a shot of the bonfire and everybody, I guess, having fun or acting like it, you just hear like the whitest girl voice. She's like, "I'm so high," and he's like, "Okay, that sets the mood for the rest of the movie right there."
It fucking does. Now, the thing is, you got these girls, they're in school, they're somehow so stressed that they have to get money together to go on their dream vacation.
I just want to know how these girls know each other. Like, the three, like, that makes sense. They seem like they would run in the same pack. Where does Selena Gomez know any of these girls?
I think they were roommates.
Oh my God, they were roommates?
Yeah, I think that's the case because I know they show it in the movie where like 2 of them are classmates and they go back to their dorm and then suddenly Selena Gomez is in the mix. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, like waking her up like, "Hey, go away. No, get on out here. You're in your underwear. Let's go dance to Nelly's Hot in Here out in the hallway."
Can we please take a moment to just let the listeners know that at no time do I think any women have ever just done the things that these women do together. This isn't what human beings interact with. It's not like,
Yeah.
Oh my God, let's go in the hall in our undies and you can like put your face in my crotch and then we'll just do super dirty stuff all the rest of the movie together.
You are not spoiling this for me. This is exactly what happens in girls' dorms.
I'm just glad that it's affirmed that everybody has a really beat up Disney or Looney Tunes t-shirt that they rock when they just don't give a fuck anymore. Like how everybody from the 90s has a Taz t-shirt for no reason.
Taz and Bugs Bunny wearing like gangsta apparel.
Yeah, it's just trash. It's all trash.
But during this scene, this is like a short little scene to focus on, but during this scene, absolutely nothing happens as far as like the plot goes. They just wake her up and it's like, "Hey, let's dance around in the hallway for 5 minutes." And you have a lot of like lingering crotch shots while they're just playing around. This is very fan service.
And much like bits in The Rock, which were unintentionally shot like porn, this movie was intentionally shot like an adult film.
The idea that we have here, they're getting together, they're talking, they're like, "Hey, we want to go on spring break. How much money do you have?" "I have $4. I have $20. Is that enough?"
How do you not have $300 amongst 4 adult women?
This is like a glimpse into the ineptness of these girls and their ability to handle cash.
I mean, we do get like little trickles of like their home life and stuff. Selena Gomez, at least amongst all of them, came from some money. Like, the way she explains to her family and how they converse over those like little calls or whatever that are overlaid through the movie, you can definitely tell that she's more well off than the rest. So there's no way they couldn't afford to go there and have fun.
Yeah, Selena Gomez at least feels like with her conversations that she comes from like a classic nuclear family. I don't know the backgrounds of any of the other girls, but she at least has a good baseline, something to work from. And I assume, just judging from what I see, that this is a pretty expensive college. It doesn't seem like, I don't know, they're not going to just like a shitty community college. This is probably like a nice private school in North Carolina, just to guess. I don't know.
I guess so. The movie doesn't really go out of its way to tell you where they are, let alone where they're going. It's just like they're going to spring break.
Spring break forever.
Ugh.
Spring break forever.
Like when money's tight, amongst your friends, you can always kind of scramble something together. Go mow a lawn, go do something, or do something silly for the movie's sake. And the girls are like immediately going to Grand Theft Auto and arson.
Yeah, well, first they go to one of their friends and is like, hey, we really want to go to Florida. Can we borrow your car? And she's just like, no. And then another one of the girls, I think it's like Vanessa Hudgens, is like, hey, I know where this professor hides their keys. The next scene we see is them driving around in this El Camino.
That's all the movie needs. It's like, hey, I know where to get something. Next scene, they have that something.
Yes, that continuously happens. We need this thing, or this thing just happened. Immediate cut to that thing happening. And it's fun, but it's also very off-putting at the same time. Like when you visually see the way they put it together, it's so fucking weird. It's like flash cuts of Requiem for a Dream almost.
Yeah, it's like Requiem for a Dream, except like unnaturally happy Requiem for a Dream.
Sure. But the thing is, like, I think the movie's aware of its nothingness in the first probably 2/3. So I think they use that like flash forward thing, just kind of drag its own feet along.
Yeah, there's a lot of erratic cuts here and there. Like, we are interrupted from the actual course of the movie so much just to see a flash of like more partying, or like an outdoor scene of like palm trees or the ocean or whatever.
Now, you can tell when there's some important dialogue going on, because did you guys catch that they'll say, I wish it could last forever, and then it'll cut to a different angle and just, I wish it would last forever.
Yeah, the pretentiousness kicks in pretty early in this bullshit, and I just had to tune that out, or else I'll just like leave this movie pissed.
Oh man, so anyways, they need the cash and they want to rob a fucking chicken shack. And it's basically the scene from Pulp Fiction. They just go in with a hammer and a gun and they say, give me the cash.
Yeah, not even like real guns. Those are like those are squirt guns. They even say it. Like, those are the squirt guns they were using to squirt like vodka into each other's mouths out at the party.
Promiscuously.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in this movie. A lot of flaciating gun barrels, because I guess that's a kink.
I don't know what you do with them, but for sure.
That's why Riff Raff wouldn't be in the movie. He's like, I ain't sucking no pistol dick.
But certainly they wind up with the money after robbing these poor folk. They steal the car, they go off to Florida, and they're like, yippee, we finally did it. We're living the life. Spring break, ... forever.
Well, it's just 3 of them that rob the store. It's like 2 of them go in, and then one of them's waiting as a getaway driver. Little Jesus girl Selena Gomez isn't in any of this. She's too innocent for that. But they do, successfully pull off the heist and then burn the El Camino. They could have just like parked it back at the professor's apartment or whatever, but fuck it, let's burn it.
That's true. Like, when they were done with it, they could have just put it back. No, they just went ahead and cut all ties to civilization. Like, fuck it. We're spring break now and forever.
See, and that's, again, another little precursor to the fucking madness of these young ladies. I'm telling you, for all the listeners, it's going to be a rough 35 to 40 minutes. And then it goes so far off the rails that you can't help but be enamored.
But it also kind of twists around in its own like storytelling logic, because boy, when we get to the Franco Nation later on, this movie tries its hardest to subvert your subversion of expectations with this man.
Yes. So many fucking times they're like, this thing is going to happen. And you're like, yeah, ooh, wait, what?
Oh yeah, I definitely had like a theory like going on in my head. I wrote it down. I was like, this thing's going to happen for sure. And that thing didn't happen.
Exactly. Okay, so when we get to that bit, we'll discuss exactly that, Chan Man, because I did the same exact thing. And that's part of why I was like, you know what? I kind of like this movie because you got me with that one. And then they get me with another one later. And I was like, well, fuck.
Yeah, so they take all this money back to Selena Gomez, who I guess is, just studying, doing what normal, good little college girls do. They have all this cash, and they finally convince her, hey, take a hit off this bong.
Spring break forever.
Spring
Spring
break
break
forever from here on out.
Can we, as just the three of us, whenever we're saying goodbye, we don't say goodbye anymore. It's just spring break forever.
Spring break
Spring break
forever.
forever.
Yeah, just in the background.
Did you guys
So, yeah.
notice on this party bus down to Florida, did you guys notice that it's like 3 old men and the rest is exclusively like hot college girls?
Well, yeah, they're on their way to spring break, and the other two are just on their way to die.
What fucking bus line is this? Because where can I get a ticket?
I know. Let me say that a little bit more masculinely. I know.
But of course, that busload of college students, they pour out into the beach, and the movie does what it does best, and doesn't stand still for fucking 4 seconds.
No, it's just another gigantic cutscene of, alcohol, titties, weed, cocaine, titties, weed, cocaine, titties.
Yeah.
It's a 10-minute music video is what it is, dedicated to ass and titties.
Like, when the movie starts to focus on other characters besides the ladies, in the back of my mind, I'm like, this is exactly what my GTA Online character does all the time. Same crowd and everything.
Yeah, and this is actually where we get introduced to the Riff Raff character. His name is Alien, but he's Riff Raff. But he's played by James Franco. He's a rapper up on stage. This is like MTV Spring Break.
Dude, it's 100% MTV Spring Break. And Riff Raff, Franco up there, is rapping. And they do not bother to do anything to his voice.
No.
It sounds so fucking bad.
So I guess that's pretty true to form. They're just out there for the money, not for the talent.
No, he's got some talent. He's telling it like it is. He's like a spiritual leader saying, ladies and gentlemen, big booties, bikinis, y'all. That's what life is all about. He is a philosopher.
He's a philosophizer. He's got those buzzwords like titties.
I heard him once say, "Nay, bitch, come unto me."
And I come on to thee.
And through this whole thing, the ladies are still partying hard, getting all kinds of fucking trouble and whatnot, and they wind up in jail because their party gets busted by the 5-0.
Yeah. Now, this was the biggest what the fuck moment to me in this entire movie. How in the fuck did the cops know just to arrest those 4 girls?
I think they got away with more people because I remember there's some dude with a pirate hat. And I was like, dude, he showed up to the party with a pirate hat, exclusively looking for booty.
But no, this is a gigantic party up in a hotel room, and we do see 2 others that got arrested along with them. They're taken out in handcuffs. We see them again at the courtroom or whatever it is, at the police station. I don't know what it is, but it's the twins.
Yeah.
And these are like real grimy looking guys. They look like they're fun to hang out with, but maybe just for like 5 minutes.
And the movie gives like just enough time to where you can just see how scummy they are. They're basically just like skids and mudflap, just hanging out and around or whatever. And they go to this court date, and they're still in the back of the room. And then James Franco's just like keeping an eye on everything, and you get the impression that like he's like waiting for their bail to just kind of like drop, so he can pay it off and like I guess turn them to like indentured hooers.
Indentured hooers. Yeah, that's
okay. That's 100% where I was going with whenever me and Chandler were discussing just a moment ago. You're like, this guy's a fucking, sex trade person.
Yeah, something like that. Or like using the money that he spent as leverage to like make them do whatever they want.
Yeah, my theory, let me bust out my theory a little bit, was that the two twins who are good friends with Franco, that's the reason that he was there in the first place, theoretically, that they had called the cops specifically so these 4 girls would get arrested, and then he would have the opportunity to buy out his their bail. They'd be in his sort of servitude.
Oh, this was an inside job.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it still was. I don't know, but it didn't seem that way.
What happens right after that, though, after he bails them out, since they don't have any money, the judge is like, you got to pay money. They are in fucking bikinis, and they stay that way for the rest of the movie.
Because why not?
Like, can I bring up one little thing? I know, like, during, like, the spring break season, they probably see, like, an uptick in whatever crime. These women are clearly just, like, out of their fucking minds, not in any kind of clothes or any kind of position to, like, spend any longer in jail or anything. Can they just realize, like, hey, these are basically, like, young women stuck out in the middle of nowhere. They obviously can't afford it.
Well, like, they give them sort of an ultimatum. They say, hey, you're not going to be charged with narcotics possession. You're not in that much trouble. You're going to get, a citation. You'll be fined. Or you can spend 2 more days in county lockup. I feel like they could have called their parents and been like, hey, I was doing a little cocaine.
I was
All right.
praying, trying to look at Jesus right in the eyes.
I had my nose in the book the whole time. It's just that book was actually cocaine.
This movie, especially with this little piece right here, they kind of shoot it out there for people, I guess, who just don't understand how court works. They could have just got a fine and left literally with a fine to be paid within X amount of time. So I don't know why they were like, oh my God, I can't have a fine.
That's what I was thinking. And it's also weird that they allowed somebody to post their bond without any kind of correlation between the two, because they didn't know that their bond had been paid for until they walked out of those garage doors, because that's how they let people out through the court,
With
just
bicycles
underground.
just chilling.
Yeah, the lady that comes through and is like, somebody loves y'all. You posted bail. When they go out and finally meet James Franco's character, whose name is Alien, by the way, that's his character's name. He's not from this world. He's an alien. he responds to them with, come on, y'all. Why y'all acting suspicious?
Fish.
That's
And
the
that's
good
after he
stuff.
says moaning.
This character is something else, I tell you that.
I don't know what fucking accent he's trying to do, because he's trying to be like redneck / southern. It is the most ridiculous shit I've heard.
I don't know. It's like ghetto backwoods. It's like the Queen's Ebonics.
No, I get it. It's like that southern coast of Florida, like down near like Mobile, Alabama, that Gulf Coast where it's like kind of Florida, kind of fucking Alabama.
You think they out there on the bayou?
Get a little bit of that old-fashioned Creole in there.
Homer, where you make it?
But we are suspicious immediately, because this guy's a fucking freak. He's picking up these girls on his dime, and we just spoke about it, like how we're just like, what is he up to? This is James Franco.
By the way, one little thing I want to talk about, just another bit of subversion of expectations, I guess, is like when we first see him, he's standing up against his car, and from the angle that they first show it at, you're thinking, man, this car is dope. This guy, we saw him, he's a rapper. This is probably like a Lambo or a Ferrari, Maserati, something like that, because the angle that we see it at. And then when the girls finally go to get in the car, it's like a 1998 Camaro.
Yes, it is. With racing stripes, which gives it +5 horsepower.
Those are big facts. The best part about this, though, is on the car ride, this gentleman immediately takes the conversation into DP. Double penetration, y'all do that?
That's my
Well, he's
thing.
just-
I like that double penetration.
He's got to test the waters, The question's going to come up eventually. What's kind of cool about like him kind of conversing with them for the first time is that like he takes them to like a really open public area, like this beach park or whatever, but you still have this sense that like, if they try to run away right now, they're kind of fucked.
Yeah, sure. They're not really near where their hotel is or anything. So, yeah, it's like this nice little park. I made note that, that'd probably be a really good place for a disc golf course.
Mm.
That's neither here nor there. There's a lot of... Never mind.
Don't forget, this entire time, you're getting creeper vibes that he's about to turn them into sex slaves. Because he
Hard
literally
creeper vibes.
jokes
Yeah.
about everything that they have done since they arrived. And then you start to put together this whole side plot that, oh man, he's been planning this since they showed up. He's been watching them while they do everything.
Yeah, so you're thinking, they could turn them into slaves or turn them into fucking salami because he tried to throw them into a meat grinder. Like, it could go either way at this point.
Yeah, he was talking to him. He was like, what do y'all do? Party? Weed? Cocaine? What do y'all do? And then...
He was so serious about it.
Just from here on out, I mean, James Franco's Dialogue and his delivery, I feel like, are excellent. Like the best part of the movie, in my opinion, because he kind of never stops talking. He just rambles.
No, you know that's absolutely right. The rest of this movie, which is about 45 minutes, give or take, is just him monologuing over every fucking thing. Like he
Look
walks
at
into
my
his house.
shit.
Yes, he walks into his house and introduces all his shit.
What were y'all in there doing? Praying? Maybe I'm the answer to your prayers. You know, I was the only white boy on my block. Only problem is when spring break starts, that brings out the scum. I'm a fucking G. I'm a gangster with a heart of gold.
Okay, listen, that line when he said like this is my home and it's great until like the spring breakers show up, another moment where you're like, oh, okay, this is how he gets back at the spring breakers for
Yep.
ruining his community every year. So it's like, okay, this is
Exactly.
almost like a pseudo horror movie now or something. I'm like, all right, I'm on board. Let's see crackhead Franco like, dig into this a little bit.
See, because I thought that for a minute, like, because just like you said, the way he says that, and he even kind of says it like with like a hateful face.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
so you're like, oh shit, he's fucking taking him somewhere, luring him into a false sense of security, and then all hell's gonna break loose. And this is just a character he's portraying to, lure them in.
Yeah, for sure. At this point, I'm thinking this movie is about to turn into like Turistas or Hostel or something along those lines.
And the movie's just like, nope, another montage. It's like a fucking giant neon dream or some shit.
Fuck yeah, it is. It's a neon wet dream. This is where I just started going, all right, fuck it, I'm down.
Did you say something about a neon wet dream? Because I got a neon wet dream right here.
Oh yeah.
It's a neon rainbow, but I mean, it's wet.
Spring
Can that
break
just be
in
your
a
whole
can.
review?
It's wet. No, what I've got here today from Ommegang Brewing Company out of Cooperstown, New York, Neon Rainbows. It's a New England style IPA, my first one of those that I've had in a long time, at least on the cast. It's a 6.7% alcohol by volume India Pale Ale with Citra, Centennial, Simcoe, Mosaic, and Topaz hops. A whole bouquet of them. That smells juicy, y'all. Anyway, so this is a really well-balanced IPA. You can get a lot of that pine going on in the background, but this is a New England style, hazy style IPA. So you get a lot of those tropical notes in there too. You get a little bit of pineapple, mango, peach, those kind of things, but nothing in either direction is too overwhelming. It is hazy, it is fruity. There's pine and like those resiny flavors in there. But overall, this is just like a super well-balanced IPA, and I would expect no less from Ommegang. They're hands down one of my favorite breweries out there, and it's just because they don't try crazy shit. It's just all about making great beer. Ommegang, sponsor us.
Nice. But speaking of hazy, we jump right back into the movie.
We get a scene that features Waka Flocka Flame when Franco is like taking all the girls back to his house. For having such a shitty car, he's got a really nice house.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to cars, you can't really judge a man by his whip because I don't know. People just have those like personal tastes. Like some people really like '90s Mustangs, and I say you're disgusting.
I really like a late 90s Mustangs. If you're going like a 94 or earlier Mustang, you're disgusting.
We are on the same page.
Okay.
Spring break forever.
Forever.
So they get a little taste of like the party life and shit like that, but then he takes them to this fucking bar where they are completely out of their element, and Selena Gomez is like having a breakdown. And this is where there's like a real chunk of good acting and a really uncomfortable, semi-scary scene of her just crying, wanting to go home while James Franco lurks on her.
Oh my god, he touched her face for so long. I was just like, I couldn't even focus on the dialogue at that point. I was just like, when's he going to stop?
He does a really good job at both being consoling and really creepy at the same time.
Yeah, he even says, oh, you can leave whenever you want, but just know your friends ain't going with you. And I was like, oh shit, that means that he's going to let her go and she just has to live with the fact that, the other three are fucked over.
Yeah, she has just sold her friends into slavery pretty much, yeah.
And I thought she would have the opportunity, or the movie was going to show us that like she was going to get away and maybe like call the cops or call her parents to get a hold of the authorities or something. No, she fucking buys a Greyhound ticket and leaves the fucking movie.
Yeah, I think that was like the regularly scheduled bus to go back to school. because she was talking about, we're not going to make it back to the bus, that kind of thing. But, after the little heart to heart with James Franco, she was just like, you know what? I'm out. You're on your own.
And what's great about this next little bit is that they completely forget she exists. And now you have like some just like trashy Charlie's Angels going on in Florida, just like fucking around the place.
Dude. But you're also getting like these weird cuts of him like playing piano, hitting one little key, talking about like birds in a nest.
It definitely sends off the vibe of just like, I'm 14 and this is deep.
Absolutely, yeah. This is totally like Florida Man, White Boy, Deaf Poetry Jam or something like that.
Oh no. I got like a James Franco slam poetry session happening by the beach, man.
Oh, dude, the whole thing by the beach is creepy too, because after she leaves him, he's got him down on the beach. He's like, there's sharks in the water. They lurking. But y'all pretty like mermaids.
Dude, that's one hell of a line. He's got like the pickup lines of like a 7 or 8-year-old. It's kind of disturbing.
For real.
Okay, Selena Gomez, she was, picking up on all of these things and was like, I want to go home. Not really talking to her friends so much about it. I mean, dropping things here and there, but the other three are just like, what are you talking about? This is awesome.
Well, the awesomeness kind of runs out, unfortunately. Apparently, like James Franco and this other fellow that they had visited, his best friend from way back, got into a little bit of a beef, and like he just like pulls up to him at some like random crossroads in the middle of fucking nowhere in his Lamborghini, and he's like, "Hey, yo, man, Christmas time, rat-a-tat-tat, see y'all later," and like fucking blows away one of the ladies, basically.
No, like. By the way, the former best friend / like arch rival now is played by rapper Gucci Mane.
Oh my god, he sucks. I'm just put that out there. Like his acting ability is in the fucking negative numbers. Every time he's on screen, I'm just like, does he know what words are?
Dude,
I don't know. I think he's just trying to come off as like this hard ass guy.
His portrayal of any emotion is just so fucking flat that I seriously thought whenever him and James Franco were having like the beef backstage, I thought that was them still plotting to get these girls into the sex trade. I just thought it was deeper down the rabbit hole.
Yeah,
For
I kind of
sure.
wasn't sure
For
about
sure.
that either.
Like, but it totally reminded me of like the beginning of the Eat It music video with Weird Al Yankovic. Some guy just rolls up, he's like, "Hey man, you need a ding dong, yo," and that was it.
I still can't get over the incredible dialogue and delivery that we're getting from James Franco during all this. And he's giving these sort of winding monologues that are like, some kids want to run for president. I just want to be bad.
Oh my god, he's like a white trash fortune cookie. After enough, I was just like, all right.
They're always talking about doing the right thing. I'm all about doing the wrong thing. And then he's like showing all the girls back at his house, showing all his girls. I got shorts in every fucking color. Look at this. I got Calvin Klein Escape, y'all. I got 2 different types of Calvin Klein. I got
Look.
the blue Kool-Aid.
He was riffing so hard. Like this turned into a routine by the end of it.
It was
But
so fucking funny though.
Like the whole movie just shifts at that moment. It's almost like seismically, because you go from just like, oh man, this is kind of tense. Like what's going to happen to these women? And then James Franco's just like, hey y'all, I got so many shorts.
I have 2 different types of cologne. I'm a gangster.
It's at that moment you realize this is Jared Leto's Joker.
Oh no.
He does have Scarface on repeat.
On repeat, never
All
takes it
day
off.
long. He had a gun frame too. Like I don't even think it's just a prop. It's just that gun and just a picture of Al Pacino on the wall.
Yeah, but he does have like machine guns and Uzis just mounted on his wall just for display.
He goes on a bit of an ego trip too, because he grabs a couple rifles. He's just like, "Look at this shit! Look at this motherfucker! Look at my shit!" I was like, "What? Why are you yelling? They're right there."
fucking dying. He got like this seashell fucking headboard and it's pink and it's
Yeah.
lit up and he's like, look at my shit, look at it, and he just sounds like Dave Chappelle having a bad character.
No, he kind of reminds me of what's his name, Sir Smokes a Lot from Half Baked.
Yes.
Oh my god. I mean, it was at that moment where I went from just like kind of annoyed to just like, oh, James Franco's having fun.
Well, if you're in that role, you're gonna have fun. Like if you were an actor and playing that role, you're gonna have some fucking fun.
Yeah, He whips out his mad stacks of cash and starts throwing it everywhere because apparently that's the only way you can get these two girls wet. They allude to that earlier in the film whenever they had a few ones tossed in their direction, like, oh, my pussy's wet and my tits got bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, we alluded to one of the girls getting shot. She takes like one little bullet in the arm and starts crying.
Okay.
She wants to go home. But yeah, that was, I don't even remember which girl that was. Ashley Benson, maybe. Doesn't matter which ones they are. There's two girls left. And they're rolling around all over his bed. He's got a California king-size bed with all these $100 bills and
look at his shit.
These guns, just rolling around in guns. They start playing around with them, pointing them up in the air like they're, I don't know.
There's a really good moment in the middle of this where James Franco takes up on gun safety. He's like, yeah, let's play. He's like, y'all know it's loaded. Don't point it at my face.
Hey, I said that's loaded. It's loaded. Point that away. Make sure the safety's on. Point it away. And then they just don't listen. They're just like, hey, we have our guns pointed at you. You should fillet this gun.
That was his idea. That's the only thing I can think of. Like, hey, what if I just fucking sucked that gun? And his buddy Seth Rogen just like, and it just made it in the movie.
It's exactly what happened.
But you think this is going to go a different direction because they're like yelling at him, like, get down on your motherfucking knees. You think this is going to be something, but no, he just sucks them off and is like, I just sucked both of y'all's dicks. Y'all my motherfucking soulmates. I swear to God, I just fell in love with both of y'all.
And you can tell that he fell in love with them immediately because the very next day, he bought them all matching balaclavas.
Yeah. So now they're Pink Pussy Riot.
And they got the sweatpants, matching sweatpants too, that has DTF on the butt, which has
Good
all
Lord.
kinds of insinuations.
And this
Down
is
to
where
Franco.
the fucking movie starts.
This is where the movie starts. There's like 15 minutes left.
Yeah, exactly. The movie kind of meanders for like an hour 10, and then like the last half hour, things happen, but also go nowhere too. So go figure.
Well, you think that like nothing's going to happen, but then you get these super touching moments to where all you can do is laugh out loud to the fact that they're sitting in the rain, spinning around with AK-47, singing Britney Spears.
Okay, that
damn.
scene. I forgot about that scene. He's playing piano too, singing along to "Every Time" by Britney Spears, which is a song that I completely forgot about.
Now, this is a moment in the movie where I will damn near guarantee that as James Franco was belting out this song on the side of the beach on this John Lennon white piano, the director was in tears of how beautiful it was and how great of an idea this was.
You're probably right.
To be fair, it's a fucking great idea.
It almost like it doesn't belong in this movie. I feel like somewhere in here is like a hidden comedy or something like that. It's just like drenched in its own bullshit.
Hidden?
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. Like, I swear, the last half an hour, you're just like, okay, they were trying to do something. They went, you know what? It ain't working. Fuck it, let's go wild.
What? I guess they're just gonna move in with this semi-successful rapper in Florida.
Yeah, they
Just
even
gonna
give him
abandon
some
school?
fucking showgirls pool sex.
Oh, true, yeah.
Fuck. That scene was so goddamn cringe. Because he's just like laying there flat trying to like do some pillow talk or whatever. It's like, yeah, baby. Yeah, do that thing. You're doing it because it's a thing.
But in the meantime, the whole time we're getting these little cuts of them kind of gearing up for some showdown of some sort. I don't know.
Yeah, there's
But-
a whole lot of cuts going on.
Yeah, you get these little snippets of James Franco's voice just in the background. Spring break, spring break.
It's really
Just
kind of
over and
psychedelic.
over. Yeah.
It almost feels like it's ramping up to like a Tarantino-esque like ending where it's just like bombastic, ridiculous, and it's gonna be this wild gunfight.
Or like The Life Aquatic, actually. You think it's going to be like when Raw Power comes on and Bill Murray just wipes out everybody? You think it's going to be that? And it kind of is, but it starts out a little bit differently than you expect.
This fucking blew my mind. They jump in a goddamn speedboat. This is literally Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on their way to Gucci Mane's house. Gucci Mane is just like chilling out in his like hot tub while he's watching his wife and his girlfriend like make out in the shower or whatever.
Once more, just being like, yeah, I like that. That's a nice scene. Keep doing that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're ripping across the fucking ocean in a neon speedboat wearing their fucking black light pink baklavas and fucking matching bikinis, and he's just to the nines in ridiculous what the fuck ever wear.
Yeah. He's taking like glow in the dark wife beater and he's like broad smiling the entire time, so all that black light just shines off his fucking teeth.
Yeah, and like this is really where I hear my first like truly bad delivery from James Franco. He says something along the lines of like, everyone's going back to school now, but you all love it here.
Spring break forever.
That motherfucker was my best friend. Now I'm gonna kill my best friend.
And that's the plan. They're gonna roll into this place, murder that poor fella, and then skedaddle. But I guess subversion of expectation, when they roll up on the pier to the place, like one security guard spots him, and the ladies wipe him out along with James Franco immediately. Team kill.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, this was absolutely part of the plan all along. I'm just gonna shoot James Franco in the back of the head, and we're just gonna keep going.
They shot him? I thought the guard shot him.
Nah, they shot him.
Yeah, they shot him straight up. Didn't even see it coming. He just like, "Quack." And also they kind of turn into commando mode too, because they roll through this like island or whatever his house is on, maybe like a fjord, and they just fucking
Fjord.
smoke. They smoke everybody. Like
The
no
famous
opposition.
Florida fjords. Florida. No, I just think that he has like a dock attached to the land on his house. It could be a fjord. You're right.
He's got this fucking badass neon runway, though. That was fucking cool.
Of course he does. That's Gucci Mane.
Yeah, the whole place looked really nice. I mean, aside from his acting, you know, he's got a really good thing going.
But regardless, girls roll in there and they smoke Gucci Mane and his main hose.
Listen, that little scene right there where they bust in and kill him, the movie makes very sure to tell you or show you that the first shot that they ring out kills him immediately. And the next minute and a half are just them just like spraying down the fucking bathroom like the first shot didn't do it.
And through all this scene, like it's sort of surreal because you have all these sort of like overdubs where they're talking, and it's really, I'll say it again, surreal. They're talking, we were in on spring break and it was a blast. Yeah, I'm coming home now. I really want to do better. I want to be the best that I can be.
Crank raw
Swing
power.
away.
All I'm saying is, I even brought it up earlier, is that this movie just turns into like Thelma and Louise for no reason, but like it just comes out a little bit more cynical. Because like they wind up like with the dude's Lamborghini and everything, and they're all just like, yeah, this is exactly what we had planned. Let's do more of this.
Yeah, and again, like going over the top, like with the overdubs, you hear like, "We'll always remember this trip. It's magical. It was beautiful." You know.
Yeah, and their KD's fucking 18-0. Like, what
We
the
never
fuck kind of
wanted-
spring break thing is this?
We never want it to end. Spring break forever.
Forever.
Spring break forever indeed.
One other little thing is like when they're flashing back, there's a lot of cuts and flashing back and all that stuff. We see them as they're like walking across Franco's body. We see one of them or both of them maybe just like give him little kisses. That's DNA.
Well, I mean, they're asked to say DTF, so what are you gonna do?
Mm.
I like that they didn't take a single fucking round. They just walked in, fucking smoked 18 guards, never had a day's training with a pistol in their life.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're just like commando mode.
Yeah, you can tell they're in commando mode because they do not have any panty lines.
Oh.
Maybe what happened is they were sleeper agents and something that Riff Raff said awoke them.
Like, I wonder what the code word could have been. I think it's
Spring
avocado.
break forever.
I think it was Calvin Klein Escape.
I gotta escape here, Calvin Klein escape. And they're like, must kill, must
And-
kill.
And then James Franco's is like, ha, machine gun Joblies.
Let me suck them.
And of course, like most movies, it just kind of wraps up. It's over. It just does.
Yeah, they just like, we see him driving down the highway, I guess, going back to school, as you do.
So they get to go back, and Selena Gomez will be like, "Hey, how's it going? You know, I left you with that possible rapist. How'd it turn out?" And they'll just be like, "We literally murdered an entire fjord of people." So, honestly, this movie, I didn't like it that much. I feel like this movie is only like 45 minutes long, and the rest of it is just kind of just filler bullshit. and it meanders really hard. Most of the stuff is kind of like cobbled together, it feels. You know, a lot of flash forwards and back just to kind of like maintain whatever momentum that it's gained. But like really, the last third of this movie is the only thing that you need. James Franco is a bit of a treat. You know, it does subvert your expectations enough to where it turns into something different and it's kind of entertaining. But then the movie just ends and you're just like, well, that was a movie?
Yeah, I agree with you mostly. I think I probably enjoyed it a little bit more than you did, but it's not a great work of art or anything, but God, it's fun. But it's fun in all the wrong ways. It's fun in like in the way that you just ate a tablespoonful of sugar kind of good. Like, you know, that's terrible for you, but you still enjoyed it anyway. It's like that. James Franco does a really great job. I'm not going to deny that. I kind of wish that we would get to see that character again. Just like, you know, Spring Breakers 2, completely different crew, but James Franco's back.
Because it's spring break forever.
Spring Break forever.
This was maybe the best, worst movie I've seen.
Wow.
Like, I fucking hate 80% of this movie. And then just that little bit where there's a twist and another twist, and then the way it ended, I was like, what the fuck? This is crazy. Like, I want more. And then it quits, and I'm really let down. But I really like that little bite-sized chunk of burger that they left in there for me.
So you're saying like the last of this movie is like bag fries.
Yeah, like, oh man, oh, sweet fries, you know? Like,
Yeah. And then they're gone, you're like, yeah, all right.
See, I think there's only actually one twist. I think one twist is that there isn't a twist where you think there's going to be a twist.
No, I get it. Like, so you're expecting a twist. Like, you know, that's what we're conditioned to think. But the twist is there ain't no twist.
Exactly.
Gotcha,
bitch. Until the twist where the girls turn on Franco and shoot him in cold blood.
Oh shit! It's the twistening.
Well,
there you have it. That's Spring Breakers. If you have any strong feelings about the movie or the show, leave it in the comment section below.
Definitely make sure you hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the little bell icon too, so you know next time we got another one of these brewing.
Come find us on all of our different social medias. We got all of it. If it's out there, we probably got it, but probably not. I don't think we're on Snapchat, so don't look for us there. We're on Spotify, Instagram, goddamn Apple Podcasts. We got YouTube, Reddit. What am I missing, fellas? Facebook.
Come get us on our Tinder, Grindr, and Bumble accounts.
Introducing Christian Mingle.
Farmer Connect, isn't there like something like that?
FarmersOnly.com.
Oh man! For those who think your tractor's sexy, perfect.
Yeah, and on our OnlyFans account, if you pay $49.99 a month, I'll show you my butthole.
Oh.
Don't keep that in there.